for a cruise. We're just cruising along. Funny story, I never had the GoPro or anything yet. Well, not the GoPro, but my setup. And one of my first rides with my Buell, I was coming around this corner, and a deer come flying out, and she started running, and I started giving gas, and it was literally a race, and the Buell won because she didn't pass me. She had to go behind me. Needless to say, crapped my pants and wasn't nice to the back. And it smells like ass here too, because it's a water treatment place, and if anyone knows about water treatment places, they smell like ass. But yeah, just out cruising around on her. She's an awesome little bike, I love her. She's a half pint. But she does me well, and that's all I need. I got my 1300cc bike. Not a race bike, but she's a 1300cc, and I got half pint here, and she is awesome. I love her. But yeah, guys, so I'm out for a cruise, cruising along, having fun, doing what I do. This is actually, oh my god, this is so much fun. Having a blast on her. If you guys don't know, she's been sitting since last year. After I got into the accident with the Buell and everything, the guy that bought the bike couldn't afford her, so he gave her back to me, and then I got the insurance money and I bought the VTX. I bought Stacy, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do with her. I actually did put her up for sale in the spring, and people are like, I'll give you $20 for her. She's 32 years old. And I was like, yeah, that's a big FU on that, partner. But no, everyone tried to lowball me on this bike. And I kept thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. And you know what? This bike has just been an awesome bike for me. Got me out of a lot of dark times when I was going through a divorce and everything, and didn't have peanuts to my name, and I purchased this bike, and you know what, it gave me sanity. I had wind therapy, and I just rode, and I had a blast. So she's a good girl. I love her. I love you, half pint. But yeah, great little bike, 500 Interceptor, 1984. She's as light as anything. She is just an awesome bike. I couldn't ask, you know. You know what, I thought about it, and I thought about, you know, do I get another bike? Do I get another street bike and get something bigger? You know, even if I went up to a 600, the guys on the 750s would have been like, because I had a leader bike, I had a 1000cc race bike. That Buell was 1000 cc's. And if you don't know what a Buell XB9R is, go look it up and go have a look at that bike. That bike was crazy. Why didn't I get another one? Well, here's the deal. I live in Canada, and the guys that own them in Canada want an arm and a leg for them. And the guys in the United States know what's going on. They know what price it is, so they don't try to gouge you. But trying to bring a bike across the border is difficult. It's doable, but it's not easy. So that's what I did with her, and it was a long process. And to be honest, the Buell is made by Harley Davidson. It was. And Harley Davidson parts in Canada, you can get them. It's basically a Sportster with a Buell engine put into it and transformed into this mean effing machine. And I mean it. I mean the Sportsters with their horsepower, and then you go to a Buell that's got 92 horsepower, that's less than, you know, 400 pounds. That bike is tits. That bike would wheelie in the first 4 gears for nothing, for shits and giggles. But yeah, so basically, was I going to buy another Buell? I was thinking about it, but I had so many issues with parts when I had to get her safetied and everything over here. And I won't lie to you, it was as expensive as fuck because they were Harley Davidson parts. And then you want to take it to a Harley Davidson dealership, and it's not cheap. To own a Harley Davidson, give you guys props, man, because your bike has to go in the shop, and they're like, yeah, how many kids do you own? Because we're taking your firstborn. So basically, that was my thought. You know, do I get a Gixxer 600 just to race around and be a hooligan on? Do I get a 750? Do I look for an older leader bike? You know, I wasn't sure, but at the time when I bought the 1300cc VTX, I was like, okay, I'm good now. I got my bike. But when it came back that I was getting back this Honda Interceptor, and she didn't sell like I thought she was going to sell. And listen, guys, I wasn't asking an arm and a leg for her. I was basically, it was a good price. And I mean, for this bike, mechanically inclined and everything, and riding, this bike is like bulletproof. If you change the oil, you know, tighten your chain up, and you keep this baby looped and everything, and you do the maintenance on her, she's going to run forever. I had another Interceptor, and it was my very first Interceptor. I got that when I was like 19 years old, and I sold that bike with like 90,000 kilometers on it, still running. And the guy that bought it rode it for another 4 years before he sold it to someone else. So who knows how many kilometers it ended up having on it. But yeah, I just decided that, you know what, it's a little hooligan bike, you know. People got their Groms and that. And you know what? I am very content with having this Interceptor. She is such a fun bike, so I decided that it was already paid for. It was just coming back to me. I had to put a little work into her, and so I did. I gave her fresh tires and a sprocket and everything, and a chain, and decided, hey, this is I'm gonna keep her because she's done me no wrong. She's an awesome little bike, and when I want to be a hooligan, and half a hooligan, as you might say, because it's only 500 cc's, then this is it. Now, another thing that I'm kind of interested in, and I won't lie, is getting a dual sport. I mean, I don't know what I see Arson Rides has got a KLR 650 Cowie, and that dude loves his bike. And you know what? I can pick one up fairly decent price over in Michigan and just bring it across back, and basically I could bring it back, and that wouldn't be an issue, because here's the cause. In the United States and Canada, bringing a motorcycle across that's less than 15 years old, you have to go through all the paperwork and everything. But here's the but. If the bike is older than 15 years old, all you have to do is tell the US government that bike is being transferred across to Canada. You can bring that bike across Canada, into Canada, and instead of going through the RIV and having the bike registered into Canada, basically you can go and get that bike certified, go to the ministry, and have that bike switched over, and she is a Canadian bike now. So, for anyone that lives in a border town, if you're thinking about getting a motorcycle, go stateside. Find something that's about 15 years old, and there's a ton of them out there, and you bring it across, and you can bring it right back. You don't have to do all the IRB paperwork and paper trail to get the bike over. Well, you're very welcome for that info. But yeah, so, but anyways, I decided that maybe I'm going to be coming into a little money next year, and financially, if I'm okay, why why not get a third bike? I am only here once. I am only here once, my friends. No do-overs. So maybe I might have Stacy, which is the VTX, which is the cruiser, and that's what I take on my long runs. And I'll have half pint when I want to rip around with the boys in town and go do some racing around. Or I could get a Kawasaki KLR 650 and hit some trails, go on the road, see a trail, and just turn off and see where it leads me. But anyways, guys, this is Moto Steve. This large truck is going by me in the fast lane. He don't care. But this is Moto Steve. Keep that right hand cranked. Ride safe, guys, because we always all want to get home to our to families. And I'm out.